Hello my spooky crew, it's been a while. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing great on this autumn day. If you like the video, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and you too can become part of my spooky crew. Anywho, I went on our second family summer holiday last month. Went to Cornwall, my first time going. It was very nice. And those of you that have been around since the beginning and like my videos may know that when I go places, I like to look up history and I like to find out if they've got any ghost or spookiness. And I was lucky because this place did in spades. So we went to Penzance. Very nice. It rained a lot. There was rain and sunshine and rain. And I will never listen to my husband with packing shit to go anywhere when he's like, no, it'll be fine, we don't need coats. And I was like, oh, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And no, it pissed down heavy as soon as we got off the train and had to walk quite a ways to where we stayed. So yeah, not leaving him in charge of things like that. But anyhow, so yes, we went to Penzance and there are lots and lots of ghosts running around Penzance. One of the main places that we visited a couple times that has a lot of history and about 3 ghosts is the Dolphin Inn. Now the Dolphin Inn is old. It's been serving pints to people for like over 500 years. It has had some famous names that have been its clientele. We've had Sir John Hawkins, who prepared his fleet and his battle plans for battling the Spanish Armada. On a darker side, it's also had Judge Jeffreys, the hanging judge. Oh yes. He carried on the bloody assizes in their dining room. And he was meant to have taken the prisoners and keep them in the cellar of the Dolphin Inn. So, knowing his history, you can imagine that some of them probably met quite a gruesome ending. It is very interesting if you like history like me and you want to find out a bit more about it. The bloody assizes was to get rid of all the people that were part of or conspired to or helped in the Monmouth Rebellion. Look it up, there are articles online. Interesting, bloody, yeah, you know, typical art history. As I said, the Dolphin Inn has got 3 ghosties. The main one, or the most famous of their ghosts, is known as the Captain. Now this is a proper little sea dog, and he has a tricone hat, a frilled shirt and a jacket with brass buttons on, and he's meant to be seen a lot, and he likes to be sort of around rooms and the stairways of the inn. He seems quite a good-natured little ghost, really, just likes to plod around, and you can, like I said, hear him and see him plodding around, being just very sea doggy. Then they have a ghost of a young man who is a young fair-haired chappie. He's seen a lot standing at the foot, or the foot, that's right, the foot of people's beds when they stay, and then they sort of wake up and see him, and then if you speak to him, apparently he vanishes. People don't really seem to know who he is, but it is wildly what is the word I'm looking for? Fibro, and I think premenopausal brain, just, it's not wildly. It's very well thought, people think it a lot, that he is the ghost of a young man who died in 1873 when he fell into the cellar that we mentioned before. Then before I go on to their third ghost, I'll put the picture up there. Now, I took a lot of pictures the day that I took the picture that I put up there. This was the only picture that came out blurry. It was the same thing. I didn't move any different. I didn't do anything different. Like I said, there was, more after, there was more before. They were fine. This is the only picture. And in the circled bit that I put up, it to me looks like a little bit of shoulders and a face. And it was like a young man's face. So did I manage to cap this chappie on thingy, and why was he outside? But like I said, there was nothing there, no blurs, only time. Also, I felt weird as get out on the first day that I went there and I took that picture. I just felt so strange. I felt like something kept pulling me back. It's like I was moving, but I just wanted to go back, and something kept pulling me back. Walking back to where we were along the seafront and the promenade, I kept looking in the water, and there was like a weird urge to go in the water, which is really strange. And even when I was standing still, I felt like I was moving. And before you say it, I was not drunk. I had one drink there, and I just felt so strange. Now, it is strange for me believing in this stuff and doing the videos, but it was my daughter who said, you may feel like that because you didn't say goodbye to the spirits when we left. And I was like, okay, this is true. The next time we went, I did say thank you, spirits, and goodbye, and I felt fine. So I don't know if it's because I did pee them off or what, but yeah, anyway, that is for you to see if you think it is, it isn't, but that is my fourth penneth. Anywho, the third ghost is a Victorian lady. She's in a dun-coloured, can't speak English today. She's in a dun-coloured dress. And she likes to show herself to staff, and she likes to come out of the wall beside the where did I put the thingies? There is a whole section. Hang on. Okay, when making notes, I need to make sure they're safe because I think the kids have gotten hold of it and I've lost a whole section. So forgive me, I'm going to try and do this bit off the top of my noggin. And as I said, fibro and I think premenopausal, it might not go very well. But anyway, I think she likes to come out of the wall by the kitchen and near the pool table. And people see her a lot, and she's another seemingly nice one. It's not just ghosts that you see there. Apparently there's a lot of sounds, and you hear like heavy footsteps and sort of dragging sounds, and people have seen like sort of indents in pillows and chairs in rooms that have been locked. So yes, there's a lot going on there. Another place that we went to because I wanted to see it, because they've got a lovely Egyptian house there as well, and I likes the history and seeing all the pretty things, is I went to Chapel Street, which is like one of the oldest streets, and it's all cobbled and it's nice. And like I said, the Egyptian house is down Chapel Street. But I also saw, put it there, 20 Chapel Street, which is now, as the picture says, the artist residence. I think you can stay there. And this used to be the home of Mrs. Baines. Mrs. Baines had obviously this nice well-to-do house, and she had an orchard that was part of the gardens, and it stretched for quite a while, because I think it used to go up to Turk's Head as well, which is around there. And she was very proud of her orchard. It had lovely apples, and she started getting really paranoid and worried that the local kids and everything were scrumping her apples. Now, if you don't know, or you're not from around here, scrumping is stealing. You steal people's shit, you're scrumping it. Excuse me, which is why some cider is now called scrumpy, because apples and still, yeah. Anywho, and so she got, it was either her manservant or someone that she'd hired. I can't for the love of me remember his name, which is really bad because I did have it written down. I want to say Jeff, but I don't think it's Jeff. But for all intents and purposes, we're just going to call him Jeff now. But anyway, her manservant, she got him to start guarding the orchard at night time. And it got to a point that she was just getting so paranoid. Excuse my nails so you can see them. I need to take the nail polish off. But anyway, she got so paranoid that she thought that he wasn't doing the job properly and that he was being lazy and he buggered off or something, and he wasn't catching the scrumpers. So one night she decided she was going to check for herself and see what was going on, and she came down in her nightgown and her bonnet, and she came into the garden and she didn't see Jeff, Ned, Bob anywhere. And so she thought, okay, weird, I didn't think he was going to do it. I'm going to make it look like someone was to, say, you weren't at your post. So she shook one of her beloved trees and, get the apples down. And the sound of the apples funking down on the floor awoke Ned, Jeff, Bob, who was actually, he was snoozing, but he was actually close by. He was in a bush. And he had a blunderbuss with him. And as he heard it, and he'd just woken up, so he was a bit groggy, his instant thought was to shoot. Now, I don't know if he was trying to shoot just as a warning shot, because otherwise, you're shooting kids with this scrumping apples. But anyway, and I think it was a hair trigger moment because of waking up in the shock, and he accidentally fired the blunderbuss, which, as you can probably guess now, hit Mrs. Baines and killed her instantly. I do think, for some weird reason, her body was taken to Turk's Head. I'm sure I've read that. And ever since then, she has come down in the night, her ghost, to keep an eye on her beloved orchard and her beloved apples. And she roams around up through Turk's Head, where I think part of it went to, because it's quite a big patch, and also around the garden and around the 20 Chapel Street. Some say that lots of people have tried to exercise her. It's like, she's not doing any harm, she's just roaming around to check her apples, but there you go. Some say that she has been exercised, but not fully, and they've just managed to keep her to the sandbags at the bank. I think if they couldn't really do it, I don't reckon they have, and I'd like to think, even if it isn't, I like to think that she is still roaming around her beloved orchards, making sure they're safe from little scrumpers, and that hopefully she is happy still roaming around those orchards in her little, her little spiritual way. But there is other things that happen in Chapel Street, because like I said, it's quite an old street. There's also meant to be a ghostly funeral procession that goes down to St. Mary's Chapel church yard, and a phantom stagecoach drawn by headless horses. There's also tales of near Dolphin Inn again and the Quay. When they were having it redone, I think it was in 1800s, something like that, early 1800s, they knocked down this old derelict building that people hadn't used for years because of rumours of it being haunted and that horrible things had happened there. It was meant to be an inn, but no one sort of remembers the name of it anymore, obviously, because it was used a long time ago. And when they knocked it down and they took up the floor, they did actually find a skeleton under the floor. And it ties in with the rumours that people said that it was a young sailor and he stayed there and he was very well off. He'd either made his money at sea, or maybe there was some treasure, or I don't know, but whatever he did, he was meant to be quite a well off sailor, and people have said that he was bumped off for his money. People again don't know who he is, who the skeleton is, if he is the sailor. No one seems to know the sailor's name, but the body was there, and it could be that people were right with their tales and that no one went in there for ages because of the hauntings. So if you're around or you're going that way, go to Penzance, check out these places, see if you feel strange around the Dolphin Inn. Remember to say goodbye to the spirits so you don't feel as strange as I did. I hope you enjoyed this little tale of my holiday ghosties. I shall be back hopefully more again now with some cool videos, and hopefully be coming up to Halloween, where I like to do some Halloween makeup looks if I can think of anything that I can do that doesn't turn shit. But anyway, have a lovely day. The sun is starting to shine again. It's a beautiful autumnal day. I love that word, autumnal. Thank you for spending your few minutes with me, listening to me go on. Remember to take time out for you. Look out the window, sit in the sunshine for a bit, have a brew, take a nice deep centering breath. I must now go and get on with some housework, the fun and joys of everyday life. Be good. If you can't be good, be careful. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, bell, all that. Become part of my spooky crew. And until the next time, I bid you a very spooky adieu. Goodbye.